local business.
First, send it over to Zach Herrig with more on the Big Ten's expected decision. Zach?
That's right, guys. According to the Detroit Free Press and radio host Dan Patrick, presidents of the 14 Big Ten schools voted 12-2 in favor of ending fall sports in the conference altogether. That obviously includes football. That vote reportedly came on Sunday. Michigan and Michigan State both voting to not have a season as well. This is all via multiple reports this afternoon, but a formal announcement is expected from the conference Tuesday at some point. This, of course, comes 2 days after the Mid-American Conference became the first FBS conference to cancel its football season. The Big Ten did put out a 10-game conference-only schedule for 2020 just last week, but obviously that is no longer going to happen, at least as these reports say. Going back to that 12-2 vote in favor of ending the season, Iowa and Nebraska were the two schools that voted in favor of playing this fall. Now, Michigan head football coach Jim Harbaugh put out a statement this afternoon advocating for college football to be played. In part, it reads, quote, "We have developed a great prototype for how we can make this work and provide the opportunity for players to play," end quote. He put out his statement with statistics from the University of Michigan regarding how many players and staff members have been tested. Harbaugh added to his statement with the following statistics and said, quote, "I'm not advocating for football this fall because of my passion or our players' desire to play, but because of the facts accumulated over the past 8 weeks," end quote. The Michigan football program has administered 893 total tests. 11 have been positive, and 3 of those were upon initial return to campus from players, according to the release. Harbaugh says that the virus can be controlled and handled based on those facts and the stricter restrictions they have placed on players and staff members in Ann Arbor. And President Trump also weighing in on this topic this afternoon, tweeting, quote, "The student athletes have been working too hard for their season to be canceled," end quote. This comes as more Power 5 conferences move in the direction of cancellation. The Pac-12 also reportedly canceling football this afternoon as well. Now, just within the past hour, a Big Ten spokesperson did say to CBS Sports that despite these rumors, no vote has been held just yet. We have also yet to see a statement from Michigan State University or head football coach Mel Tucker. Again, an official announcement is reported to be expected sometime on Tuesday. For now, reporting live from the newsroom, Zach Herrig, Fox 17 News.
Zach, we shall see. Thank you. And without college football, there will, of course, be a big economic impact.
Yeah, one of the hardest hit industries by this news, the local pubs and restaurants near those campuses. Lauren Edwards joining us live outside the Big House after speaking with some businesses in Kalamazoo and Ann Arbor. Lauren?
Yeah, Derek and Annie, as I'm sure you both are shocked, I'm shocked. Sports fans everywhere. The possibility, even just the mention of no college football is devastating for many, which means that, the Big House behind me is just going to be empty, maybe empty for some time. But we did get a chance to speak with a few local businesses, especially one here in Ann Arbor, Fraser's Pub. They said the owner there said he expected all of this to happen. He was shut down for a while due to the coronavirus and the pandemic. So he figured football would be next, and this decision made by the Big Ten Conference directly impacts his business, and he's already down 40% in revenue, so losing out on all that extra money, all that Michigan football money that would bring in only hurts more. So he's been in business for decades, and he's just hoping that they will survive this.
If this went down after 57 years of business, we're really in a lot of trouble because a lot of places are going to disappear, and we can't have that. So we'll fight as long as we can.
So that seems to be the sentiment across the board when we spoke with Fraser's Pub and also with Studio Grill over in Kalamazoo. They're a very popular place for Western Michigan Bronco football fans over there. So you'll hear more from him in the 5 and 6 o'clock shows. But again, it's just devastating news for a lot of sports fans. Reporting live here in Ann Arbor, Lauren Edwards, Fox 17 News.
Lauren, thank you. Things are certainly going to be different this fall, no matter what happens. And the Rockford School Board, speaking of, will vote tonight on whether to allow students to go virtual for the start of the school year.
District originally planned on giving parents an option before in-person or virtual learning, but due to the rising number in the greater Grand Rapids area, school leaders are rethinking the plan and recommending the Board of Education make 100% virtual for the first 3 weeks and then reconsider face-to-face classes based on the case numbers then. That meeting starts at 6:30 p.m. With an executive order signed by the governor on Friday, staff members and most kids at child care centers and camps across our state now required to start wearing masks today.
Fox 17's Michael Martin spoke to the Grand Rapids Early Discovery Center today to find out how they're handling that change.
Children are resilient. Teachers are resilient.
Star Morgan, executive director at Grand Rapids Early Discovery Center, speaking with Fox 17 Monday about how staff is handling the executive order signed by Governor Whitmer on Friday that says all staff and most children at child care centers must now wear face masks.
It's been a little bit difficult making sure that every child has it that is 4 and up. Some families are forgetting, which is understandable.
At the Early Discovery Center, children are preparing for kindergarten, learning social skills and getting acclimated to an educational setting.
We're teaching them how to navigate conflict with other peers, how to navigate conflict with an adult, and that communication being a little bit more difficult when you can't see lips move, and facial expressions, the smiles and things like that.
The recent executive order says children 4 years or older are required to wear a face mask while in most areas of a child care center.
So that means if they're going from their classroom to the bathroom, if they're going from their classroom to outside, or if they are coordinating with a different classroom on something.
Children under 4 aren't required to wear them, but still encouraged to do so.
For those children, we're offering opportunities for them to practice wearing masks, but it's not a requirement in those times. Many of them want to because they see an older sibling, they see their teachers wearing masks. Once that's soiled or we think that it has other germs on it, then we remove it and we ask families to bring in 2 masks, or we have a supply on hand for those situations.
Morgan says this isn't the first adjustment the center has made in the wake of the pandemic.
But we are doing outdoor drop-off, so families come to the front. We have teachers outside to take temperatures, ask families specific symptoms, and then we're keeping our numbers really low in our classrooms.
She says they will take whatever steps necessary to ensure the safety of their students and staff.
We know germs have no boundaries, so it may happen, and we'll do everything we absolutely can to keep it from spreading to other children.
In Grand Rapids, Michael Martin, Fox 17 News.
Center says they're currently staffing extra teachers so they can take anyone potentially exposed to COVID-19 out of the classroom for a full 2 weeks.
And the state today is confirming 557 new cases of COVID-19 and 8 new deaths. These new additions push the total number of cases to just under 88,000. As of Friday, about 64,000 people had recovered, which was about 74% of the total cases. About 6,500 people have died, and about 17,000 people are actively recovering. And nationally, the Johns Hopkins database is reporting more than 5 million confirmed cases. The states with the highest numbers are California, Florida, and Texas, each with more than 500,000 cases. Michigan currently ranked 18th, yet we are the 10th most populous state.
Well, teenager hospitalized after being shot last night in Kalamazoo.
It happened just before 10:30 near the intersection of Jackson and Russell Streets. We're told the 17-year-old was taken to the hospital with a non-life-threatening injury. Police say they don't have any suspect information just yet, so if you know anything, call KDPS or Silent Observer. And police also investigating a separate shooting also involving a 17-year-old. KDPS found that person around 2:30 on Gilbert Avenue near East Michigan Avenue and East Main Street. However, they think that shooting actually happened around Stockbridge Avenue and Mills Street. Contact Silent Observer with any tips. And Kent County Silent Observer is releasing its August report showing a rise in violent crimes over this time last year.
Yeah, the report comparing crimes from the beginning of the year through the end of June from 19 to 20. They say within Grand Rapids, murder up by more than 85%, arson up by more than double. In areas where the Sheriff's Department maintains responsibility, the biggest increase was seen in motor vehicle thefts. Those up 86%. They've also seen an uptick in arson, which is up some 75%. A little bit of good news. Both departments are reporting a decrease around 20% in sex crimes, however. An officer-involved shooting led to overnight violence last night in downtown Chicago.
The city's response to that widespread looting and violence against their police officers.
Now, we may not know what the season will look like, but today the first day for high school football practices. Bakita and Book taking a look at how the GR Catholic Central Cougars are preparing to defend their title.
And of course, we're tracking a line of severe thunderstorms out to our west. I'll show you when we're expecting this to move through our area after this.
This is a Fox 17 severe weather alert.
All right, so far we don't have any watches or warnings here in West Michigan. We are tracking one little cell here that so far is not severe in far northeastern Allegan County, trying to creep towards Kent County. So right around Byron Center, you may be dealing with this. If we zoom in a little bit tighter here, you can see the motion of this. It's moving to the northeast rather slowly, the way it appears at the present time, probably only at about 30 miles an hour or so. So if you live along 131 between Kentwood and Wayland, just expect some downpours out of this and perhaps some wind gusts to around 30 miles an hour or so. We also have a couple of counties here popping up with blue highlights. For example, Allegan and Van Buren, mainly due to lakeshore issues. For example, Allegan County has a lakeshore flood advisory going until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And by the way, the water level may change pretty significantly as this line of thunderstorms off to our west approaches. So stay away from Lake Michigan. It might drop and then rise rapidly as huge waves driven by these storms come across the lake, especially from South Haven southward. So keep that in mind. So here's the big line of thunderstorms that we're tracking for West Michigan a little bit later this afternoon into the early evening hours. You can see, of course, all the lightning with this. And as we put a track on this line of thunderstorms here, this will be near Kalamazoo at about 6:49, South Haven just before 6 o'clock. So that's how quickly this is moving, 65 miles an hour, and all the way into the Lansing area by about 10 after 7 or so. And again, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern for these areas just off to our west. I have not seen a watch issued for us yet, but that may be forthcoming. And we do have an enhanced risk of severe weather southwest of Grand Rapids, including Holland, Kalamazoo, and almost to Battle Creek. Battle Creek up to GR and points to the east are in a slight risk for severe weather with damaging winds in excess of 70, maybe even approaching 75 miles an hour, the main threat. Battle Creek right now looks partly sunny and 88 degrees. You can see mid to upper 80s across most of the area and very high dew points. Anything above 70 is oppressive, and many of us are in that category. So it actually feels like the mid-90s in many spots, 97 taking the prize there in Benton Harbor. Your first weather headlines, severe weather threat, of course, tonight. Damaging winds, the biggest threat, although hail is also possible of 1 inch to 1.5 inches in diameter, then turning less humid behind this front for tomorrow. So as this cold front comes on through after midnight, not only do we expect our storm threat to end, but our humidity levels will drop. But at 6:15, Future Track HD doing a good job of picking up on the location of this line of thunderstorms, I think, and then it may weaken it a little bit too quickly here. This may hold together better than our model suggesting at 7:15, impacting at that time Grand Rapids down towards Battle Creek and Coldwater, and then it moves out by 11:15. You can kind of see that we're in the clear. Rainfall totals overnight, 1/2 inch or more possible, especially along and north of 96, but south of 96 is actually where the higher severe weather threat is. Mid to upper 60s for lows tonight. For tomorrow, that fresh air upon a north to northwesterly wind comes in. As a result, look for a high of 84. So a little cooler today, but a lot less humid with some clouds early and then becoming mostly sunny. And you can see on Wednesday, not a whole lot going on either. So pretty quiet midweek shaping up. After a partly cloudy day tomorrow, look for mostly sunny skies on Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the upper 80s, lows in the 60s. In fact, on Tuesday night, we could get as low as 58 for a low, and then we warm things back up again for the weekend. Lots of humidity, too, with another chance of storms returning. To some extent on Saturday, just isolated. The better extent will come on Sunday into Monday, and it will be a little bit on the breezy side and cooler on Monday as well.